greatest attack on Jews in American history.
Yeah, and you know, Malcolm and Nance, the United States has already been home to the massacre of 6-year-old children in elementary school, of high school kids in Florida, of gay and lesbian teenagers and young people in an Orlando nightclub. You know, we're holding the record for all of these horrific events, and now the single biggest massacre of Jewish people in the United States history. The response of the president, and I'm assuming of the NRA, is just we need to put guns into our synagogues now, I guess in our churches as well. I want to just read to you really quickly. The Tree of Life rabbi had a very poignant blog post over the summer in which he said the following: that despite continuing calls for sensible gun control and mental health care, our elected leaders in Washington know that it would fade away in time. Unless there is a dramatic turnaround in the midterm elections, I fear that the status quo will remain unchanged and school shootings will resume. I haven't had to include in my daily morning prayers that God should watch over my wife and daughter, both teachers, and keep them safe. Where are our leaders? He was writing that about schools. He now could write the same blog post about his own synagogue. Your thoughts?
Well, he's absolutely right. And, you know, our heart breaks when these incidents happen. And you get the typical, you know, thoughts and prayers going out to you. But what you don't get is you don't get action. You know, I'm a gun owner. I believe in sensible gun control. But none of that is even viable in our current leadership because there is no leadership. You know, Dana was just talking about the president's rhetoric and the rhetoric which has allowed people to believe that it's permissive now, that being politically incorrect means that you can now shout any racist thing that you want in the world. The problem with that is that we have an environment where people who are unhinged, who now feel free, can arm themselves and either build pipe bombs and send them to their political enemies in acts of terrorism, take a weapon and go into a house of worship on the Sabbath and eliminate their enemies. And in the intelligence community, we have a phrase for this: eliminationist rhetoric. And the president has not been dabbling in eliminationist rhetoric. At some points, he doesn't dog whistle. He uses megaphones to tell these tribes that they belong to him. And this is leading to violence directly.
Yeah, this shooter had 3 Glocks.